What if I told you that the most dangerous team in the NFL right now was a complete joke just 1 year ago? I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks. Last season, the media called them soft, said they couldn't handle pressure. They won 10 games and still missed the playoffs. Analysts said they weren't built for January. But now, nobody's doubting them anymore. Those same Seahawks just destroyed the entire NFC and punched their ticket to Super Bowl 60. On February 8th, 2026, they'll face the New England Patriots, the same team that broke Seattle's heart years ago. But this time, Seattle isn't the team being doubted. They're the team everyone is scared of. And what they built this season? The quarterback nobody believed in, the defense with a terrifying nickname, the culture that changed everything. That's a story the league will never forget. Let me show you how it happened. Now let me take you back to 2024, because that's where this story really begins. The Seattle Seahawks went 10-7 that year, a winning record by any standard. But here's the crazy part. They still missed the playoffs. They lost the NFC West to the Los Angeles Rams on a tiebreaker and had to watch their rivals celebrate while they went home. Pain didn't just disappear over the offseason. It grew. The media called Seattle soft, said they couldn't handle pressure when it mattered. Head coach Mike Macdonald was only 36 years old, the youngest in the NFL, and critics said he wasn't ready. But here's what nobody saw coming. That failure became the best thing that ever happened to this team. Because being doubted didn't break them. It bonded them in a way that winning never could. And in the offseason, Macdonald didn't just fix the roster, he fixed the mentality. And then on March 13th, 2025, Seattle made a move that shocked everyone. They signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year, $100 million contract. If you follow the NFL, you know that name comes with baggage. Darnold was drafted 3rd overall by the Jets in 2018, and then everything fell apart. Injuries, bad teams, and that famous seeing ghosts moment that became a meme. The Jets gave up on him, so did Carolina, and San Francisco barely let him play. But then came 2024 with Minnesota, and suddenly Darnold looked like a completely different player. 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, and a 14-3 record as a starter. And Seattle believed that wasn't a fluke. They saw a top 10 quarterback that every other team had missed. But here's the twist. Darnold was reuniting with Clint Kubiak, the same coach who worked with him in Carolina. This wasn't a gamble. This was a plan. And now Seattle had their quarterback. But the offense was only half the story, because what Mike Macdonald was building on defense would become the most suffocating force in the entire league. Seattle's defense gave itself a nickname. They called themselves the Dark Side. Let that sink in for a moment. They took the gray skies and constant rain of the Pacific Northwest and turned it into an identity. Their mission was simple: suffocate offenses until the lights go out. The Legion of Boom was loud. This team is silent, and that's what makes them more dangerous. Mike Macdonald brought this mindset from Baltimore, where his 2023 defense was the best in the entire league. Most defenses react. Macdonald's defenses dictate. And in 2025, Seattle became even more dominant, allowing just 17.2 points per game, the best in the NFL. But here's what set them apart. Before the snap, they looked chaotic. Players moving everywhere, showing blitz from every angle. And then they drop into coverage and still get pressure with just 4 rushers. Offenses walk to the line already guessing wrong. And the Dark Side had more than just a system. They had playmakers at every single level. They didn't have one superstar. They had weapons everywhere. Devin Witherspoon played corner like a linebacker with endless energy. Macdonald called him the heartbeat of the whole unit. Byron Murphy II, the first-round pick from 2024, did all the dirty work in the trenches so everyone else could shine. And DeMarcus Lawrence? In Week 10 against Arizona, he returned 2 fumbles for touchdowns in the same game. Only the 4th player in NFL history to ever do that. Leonard Williams had a 92-yard interception return for a touchdown, a defensive lineman playing like a ball hawk. And Ernest Jones IV turned into a revelation, earning second-team All-Pro honors. Every week, a different player stepped up. Opposing offenses never knew where the hit was coming from. But the defense was only half the equation, because Seattle's offense was about to do something the franchise had never seen before. While the defense was the soul of this team, the offense was the engine. And Sam Darnold, He was finally playing like everyone always hoped he could. The Seahawks scored 483 points in 2025, the most in franchise history. But Darnold wasn't doing this alone. He had weapons around him that made everything click. And one receiver in particular, he became the most electric playmaker Seattle had ever seen. Every great quarterback needs a weapon, and Darnold had one of the best. Jackson Smith-Njigba, in his third season, finally became a superstar. 119 receptions, 1,793 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Those numbers put him among the elite receivers in the entire league. But what made JSN truly unstoppable was his versatility. He was too fast for linebackers, too technical for safeties, and too strong for most corners. Defenses tried everything: double coverage, bracket schemes, different techniques. Nothing worked. He just kept winning, play after play, game after game. Critics once questioned if he had the speed to be a true #1 receiver. His 2025 season shut all of them up. But JSN wasn't Seattle's only weapon, because in the backfield there were two guys creating a completely different kind of problem. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, one of the best duos in the entire NFL. Walker was the lightning, over 1,000 rushing yards with explosive speed that could break any play wide open. Charbonnet was the thunder, 12 rushing touchdowns in moments when Seattle absolutely needed yards. And what made them so special together? No jealousy, no fighting for carries. Just two guys who understood their roles perfectly. And the offense and defense weren't the only weapons, because Seattle's special teams might have been the most underrated unit in the entire league. Most teams treat special teams like an afterthought. Seattle treated it like a weapon. Their special teams unit ranked first overall in the entire NFL, 5th in punting, 2nd in kicking, 3rd in returns. Those numbers might sound small, but they added up in a massive way. Better field position for the offense, longer drives for opponents to score, and when it mattered most, special teams showed up. In the NFC Championship, a muffed punt recovery by Derek Young set up a crucial Darnold touchdown pass. That's special teams directly winning the game. And then only one team stood between them and the Super Bowl, the Los Angeles Rams. The NFC Championship, Seattle versus the team that stole the division from them the year before. The same team that sent them home with 10 wins and nothing to show for it. Now only one game remains, Super Bowl 60 against the New England Patriots. On February 8th, 2026, the dark side gets their shot at redemption. From 10-7 and watching the playoffs from home, to NFC champions with a ticket to the biggest game in football. This time, Seattle is ready. If this story hyped you up, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more. Tell me in the comments, can the Seahawks avenge Super Bowl 49? Or will history repeat itself? Drop your prediction below, because this team has earned your respect.